Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel. Today we're looking at what's in this box. It's from Happymodel. It's their 2.4 GHz ExpressLRS module designed specifically for this transmitter here, the T-Lite from Jumper. A very nice little budget transmitter, really popular, and hopefully with this added to it, it's going to make it excellent. So here we have the module, we also have a receiver, and later on in the video, and I suggest you stick around for that, we've also got upgrades that we can add to this to make it just that little bit better. Some really nice upgrades, so I suggest you stick around for that. But before we get to opening the box, perhaps you want to click that thumbs up, that would be great. And if you want to subscribe as well, that would be awesome. But that's up to you guys if you want to do that. Don't produce too much content, but what I do produce I hope is really useful for you. So maybe click that subscribe button. But as we said, that's up to you. With that all nonsense all over and done with, let's have a look at this product and open this box up and see what Happymodel have got for us. So let's open up and see what we get inside. Box and antenna, just in there. We've got a little power distribution board here to make sure we get the right voltage for the module, which is useful. There is the board itself, module board there, and then we get a little case and everything, with some wires and bits and pieces. So what we'll do is we'll open it all up and we'll cut to that now. And here we are with everything laid out. Got a little green cutting mat there so you can see it a bit clearer. And black things against the black background is not good YouTubing. So we'll put it on a nice green background so you can see everything. So here's everything in the box. We've got our antenna, a bit flimsy, you know, it is cheap, not the best quality, but it's okay. It will do the job, but we've got an upgrade for this that we'll come to in a bit. So, but if you don't want to buy the upgrade, then that's not too bad, it does the job. The actual unit itself, so this is what attaches, all the electronics go in and attaches to the back of your T-Lite, and made of aluminium, obviously working as a bit of a heat sink as well. Very nice quality, looks very nice. I'll chuck with that. It should be good as not sort of a cheap plasticky sort of 3D printed box, but actually a solid piece of metal, so that's good. Here's our little power distribution board. You can see that there. It comes with a little sticky pad as well to attach it when we come to that later. Interesting this, because this is quite useful, because I've seen the videos that certainly Albert Kim and others have made looking at the T-Lite and trying to put a module on the T-Lite and having problems with voltage drop off because it's only running on a little 1S and having to use the right sort of 18650. But hopefully this should sort any voltage problems out, so we shouldn't get any voltage drops and things like that. I've got a decent 18650 in there anyway, but even if we didn't have that, this should help with that, so that's useful. So there's the module itself. Hopefully you can see that the right way around. We've got pin outs and all sorts of bits and pieces. You've got a USB connector there. You can see that a bit clearer. On the other side, we've just got a connector there. The quite straightforward little circuit board, all ready to go. We've got some, I think it's double-sided tape here as well, perhaps, for sticking that inside there. I'm not quite sure. It might not be actually. It might be. Oh, I know what that is. That is a thermal conductivity paste. That's what it is, so that the heat of the unit is conducted nicely into the metal of the module. So that is very useful. Don't lose it. And we've got some screws which we'll need. We've got a SMA connector here with a little a UFL, I believe so. UFL connector there, so we can connect that up, so we can connect our antenna to the board. And there's a little connector on the board itself, so sort of 2/3 of the way up. And then we've got some various wires here to attach to our little power distribution board to make sure the signal and power and everything is going to our module. So there we are. So there's the board itself, and then let's have a look at what's next, which is what it connects to, which is the receiver. And this is probably the receiver that you're mostly going to be interested in. It's the EP1 receiver. So let's have a look at that. It comes in a Happymodel packaging. Let's open it up and see what we get in the pack there. So there it is. Can you see it? Just yeah. I'll bring it up to the camera. If I put it in my hand there. If you can see that, hopefully you can get the camera to focus. Look how small that is. It's absolutely tiny. Focus. Focus. Yeah, as good as we can get, I'm afraid. Yeah, it's absolutely tiny. I mean, postage stamp size. So that's the receiver unit itself. And these are the two antennas you get in the pack. So you get a long one and a short one, which is quite a good idea, depending on what sort of size build you're doing. Sometimes I know when I've done other builds using Crossfire or something, you end up with a really long wire, and you sort of have to kind of kink it inside the unit just to be able to get it to sort of sit in there nicely, and you've got wire going everywhere. So with this, you've got two different lengths, though these are pretty low quality, as you can probably see there. I mean, that one, it's got, there we are, it's a bit of a sort of frayed edge and a cut. So obviously they work out the length it needs for the frequency, 2.4 gigahertz, and then they cut it. So it's a little bit janky, not the best quality, but you have them in the pack with it, with the receiver, so that's useful. Though we've got some upgrades for this as well, like we've got some upgrades for this guy here, so we'll get to that in a minute. So let's have a look now. Let's have a look and compare this to some other receivers. I'll get them out now. So here we are. We've got a Crossfire receiver, you can see there. So as a size comparison, about 40-50% larger, and this guy here, if you don't recognise it, is a ghost receiver. This is the smallest one they do. I think it's called the AIO, I think. I can't remember. Something like that. Anyway, it's the smallest one that they do, so it's a bit smaller than the normal size ghost receiver. So about the same sort of size. And then that obviously comes with this little, they call it the QT. This one has a slightly smaller connector on it than the standard one, so you can't use these with the other ghost, or you can't use these with anything else, because as you can see here, the connectors are different size. But if every gram counts, then something like this might be useful, though this big piece of plastic here will add a lot of weight. So there you go. Just as a little side thing, you can see that the quality of the materials. These are both 2.4 gigahertz antennas, and you can just see, you know, the stiffness and the material of the wire there compared to this one, the little plastic center T-piece and the plastic center T-piece on that. Just the quality is so much better. But then this receiver is pretty much twice the price of this guy, and you can flash, if you want to, ExpressLRS onto the Ghost stuff, including the Ghost modules as well, if you want to use it with that instead of Immersion RC's software. So you can do that if you want to. Perhaps if you want better quality, though personally I'm not going to be doing that. I will just stick with using the ones designed specifically for ExpressLRS. So there we go, bit of a comparison. So there's the receiver, we've seen the module. What about some upgrades? Well, let's have a look at that now. Now the first thing we want to look to upgrade is our antenna that's on our module. I mean, it's okay, but not great quality, and it's going to be on our transmitter. So this is, you know, we want this to be tough, throwing in and out of a bag, and to look nice as well, and to give the best range, because this is where the quality of our signal starts, with the antenna for our module. So what could we use? Well, one improvement we could think of is this guy here. It's from V.A.S, so it has their quality, their finish. You know it's going to be good if it's from V.A.S, and it's the 2.4 gigahertz. It's the diamond antenna. Very, very nice indeed. Very good quality materials. Much better than this guy here. Just look how sort of soft and low quality that the cable is on that. Whereas this, it's just lovely. It's just nice and strong. Not going to have any problems at all using this guy here. The only issue is that it is a rp-sma, and this obviously is an SMA. To get around that, well, you could just change this guy here. You're going to be fitting this yourself anyway, so if you want to use this antenna, just change this guy out here, get one of these with an rp-sma connector for a few pounds, and there you go. No problems at all. So that's the first upgrade that you might want to do. If you happen to find one of these are quite unusual now. I'm not sure if anywhere you can buy them at the moment. Bought this a little while ago, so you might be able to hunt around, but your local hobby shop or the online web shop that you use, you might be able to find one of these guys, and I would recommend it. They are very good quality, as you'd expect from V.A.S. Anyway, there is something else that we could use, an upgrade that would upgrade both the antenna for our module and our antenna for our little receiver as well, and that's this kit here from O.R.T. It's their dipole 2.4 gigahertz. It's an antenna for our receiver and our transmitter as well. They do one with just 2 antennas that go on the receiver. So you buy this kit if you've got 1 receiver and 1 module, and then when you buy more receivers, well, you just buy the other kit. So let's have a look at what we get in here. Open it up, pull these guys out here. We get some stickers. So there you go, some nice stickers, put to one side. And here we have antenna. So here is the module antenna. Very, very nice quality. Very good coax cable on there. Very nice indeed. As once again, of a similar quality to the V.A.S antenna, but much better quality than what we get from Happymodel. Very, very nice. Good quality. There we are. So that we can put on our module without having to change, because it's designed for it, so it's a SMA, without having to change the connector, just using what we've got in the pack with it. And this guy here is our antenna for our receiver. Once again, much nicer cable. You can see the difference in the, you can sort of feel the difference in the quality of the wire that they've used. Obviously this is quite soft. It will do the job, and it will do the job fine, I'm sure. Get more range than you'll ever need, but it's just a bit nicer quality. Though obviously it's sort of a flat sort of PCB, so take that into account when you're setting up where you position the antenna. But they are similar sort of size, similar cable length. So there we are. So that's the upgrade that you might want to do. O.R.T or from V.A.S. Companies with good pedigree that people look at and respect, both O.R.T and V.A.S. Excellent producers of antennas, receiving, transmitting antennas for your goggles, for your transmitters, for your modules. So we know when we look at these two guys that we're going to get the best possible signal that we can for our little receiver and our transmitting module. So there we are. That's all the products that we've got. We're going to consider to do our transmitter build, which I'm going to be doing next. Now I'm not going to show that and do a video on that online, simply because if I make a video on something, I want it to be something that I'm comfortable with helping someone else with. And this is all new to me, as I'm sure it's new to you guys as well. It hasn't been around long at all. In fact, it's not really the finished product. They're still making improvements, so you're going to have to do constant updates, downloading firmware, things like that. And if you're not comfortable with all those sort of downloads and having to go online and download files from GitHub and things like that, then you probably want to just stay away from this for a little bit until it's sort of finalized and finished, where you can get the finished product with a nice user interface to do upgrades and upgrade your firmware and things like that. But if you're interested in getting to this now, well, certainly you might as well get into it now. The product's really nice. It's certainly impressing everyone who's using it with the link quality, the link speed, and just the distance. Some videos online, people just not being able to lose, to get dropouts, to be able to lose the signal quality. We're continuing to fly and just getting to a point where they've got to turn around because they're running out of battery power. That's what's stopping people. It's the lithium ion, the 6S lithium ion packs that they're running are running low on their wings, and that's why they're having to turn around and come back. Not because they're running out of signal quality from the ExpressLRS system. So it's got a lot of potential, and it is very interesting, especially with the price. But at the moment, it's still in those sort of beginning stages. So that's why I'm not going to make any content. There's plenty of content being made by guys like Nick Burns on how to do all the upgrades. In fact, it's his videos that I'll be following to do the firmware updates and things like that. So that's what I'll be looking. But I thought I'd just give you guys just an overview and to see what you get in the box, and also to see some upgrades as well if you're interested in upgrading the system and not just using what it comes with from Happymodel. So there you go. If you like this video, as we said, give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. If you like my content, well, perhaps click that subscribe button. I don't produce too much content, but what I do produce, I hope, is at least informative and interesting and useful for you guys. So there we are, ExpressLRS, and I've got to go and get my screwdriver out and take apart my T-Lite and see if we can't put all these components together and turn it into a decent radio with this module attached. So I'm now going to go and get my screwdriver out and start mucking about taking apart my T-Lite and see how that goes. Yeah, anyway, okay. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate you watching my content. Take care then, and perhaps I'll catch you in another video in the future. Bye bye.